everyone, my name is Derrick Estell. I'm with the City of Springfield Public Works Department. I work in traffic operations, and I deal with bicycles, bike and ped work all the time. So I'm here to give you guys a little bit of information on what you can expect to see when you're out on the road riding your bicycle, and some of the things to look for to help make your ride more enjoyable, more safe. So first and foremost, I hope you guys are having a great bike, walk, and wheel week. I hope you guys are able to make it out on the road, on some trails, walking on some sidewalks, walking to work, whatever it may be. First and foremost, I think probably the biggest thing that I want to really express to you all is to make yourself visible. So make sure that you're wearing bright clothing. Doesn't necessarily have to be reflective clothing, although reflective clothing is a lot better. Makes you a lot more visible during the nighttime. But just making sure that you're wearing bright clothing and make sure that you are visible. Having reflectors on your bicycle really helps the drivers to be able to see you. Also making sure that you're using your hand signals whenever you're going to be making a left turn or a right turn or a stopping movement. Just making sure that you're relaying that to the drivers around you so that they know what to expect from you whenever you're approaching an intersection. Also, if you're riding in the lane of traffic and you're not in a bike lane, there also should be detectors in the intersection so that they can pick you up whenever you are trying to move through an intersection. So just make sure to look for the little markings on the roadway. That'll help a tremendous amount. And then probably probably the most important would be to make sure that you're practicing safety by wearing your helmet. That's obviously important, and then making sure that you have appropriate clothing on so that your pants don't get caught in a chain or in a wheel or something like that. That's always important as well. And then if you're an enthusiast, you obviously are welcome to wear spandex or lycra as well. It's always hopefully makes you a little more aerodynamic, but that's optional, so you don't necessarily have to do that. So now I guess we'll just get a little bit into the basics of a bicycle and kind of what you can expect to make your bicycle as safe as possible. I already talked about the lighting on here. That'll help make you visible. It can be a reflector. It can be an electronic light that either flashes or maintains a constant red light on it. I don't have one on this bicycle, but you can also have a reflector on the front or a light acting as a headlight for the bicycle. Making sure that you have brakes that work. You want to make sure that you have the stopping power to make sure that you're not going to run into the back of someone or run into an obstacle or a rock or anything that may be in the road. Making sure that your tires are aired up properly. Again, when you have flat tires, it probably makes it more difficult to not only pedal the bike, but it can also be somewhat dangerous as well. So making sure that your tires are properly inflated. Also, again, just making sure that that you're not stranded on the roadway. It's always helpful to have a little kit on your bike if possible. Not necessarily required, but just suggested. So that way, if you do get a flat tire, you have a spare inner tube that you can throw into your tires. Have the necessary tools and everything to make that change a breeze. And then sometimes it's even helpful to have some little tools or an Allen wrench to help change some minor things if anything gets messed up on your ride. So that's always helpful as well. And then again, probably just making sure that you're fitted appropriately for your bike by making sure that your seat is at the right height, that your handlebars are in the right position, and honestly, just so that just making sure that the bike is the right size for you, because they do come in different frame sizes as well. So just a little bit of information about actually just riding and getting around town on your bicycle. You can obviously get around by riding on your Ozark Greenways trails. But if for whatever reason you're on the street, it's always important to use the bike lane. That's probably the safest place for a bike. And as long as you're not in basically a downtown business district, you can also ride your bicycle on the street or on the sidewalk. And so riding your bicycle on the sidewalk can at times be dangerous in the downtown business district, just because there's folks walking in and out of a building, and so and there's just a higher volume of pedestrians in that area, so that's a little bit unsafe of an area to be riding your bike. There's actually an ordinance that actually prohibits you from being able to ride your bike, for example, downtown on the sidewalks or on commercial streets, so just keep that in mind as you're riding around town. And then again, as you're on and elsewhere in the city, you can ride your bicycle on the sidewalk, and in some places that's probably the most appropriate place for you to be, especially if you're on like on an arterial roadway or something like that. But if you are riding your bike in the street, you always want to maintain the same rules of the roadway that apply to everyone else. You always want to ride your bicycle in the direction of travel. So even if you're in a bike lane and there's bike lanes on both sides of the street, make sure that if you're heading in the direction of travel, you're in the right-hand side or in the bike lane. Basically just following the rules of the road, making sure that you're stopping at stoplights, stopping to allow pedestrians to cross the street, so and so forth. And also making sure that you're signaling as well. Also, to maybe help make your bicycle commute a little bit easier, there are routes in Springfield that have been designated as bike routes. And the reason why maybe some of those routes are a little bit more comfortable is because they are roads that have lower speeds and lower volumes of traffic on them. They've been designated as bike routes, and you can find some of those maps on our website. What might also be helpful is to utilize the link, which is basically a corridor that stretches from the north side of Springfield all the way down to the south side of Springfield, that has been designated specifically as a route that is comfortable for bicyclists and pedestrians, with low speeds and low volumes, and connects to all the Ozark Greenways trails as well. So really, I hope you guys found this video informational and you were able to take a lot away from it. Here at the City of Springfield and Ozark Greenways, we definitely want to encourage you to get out and walk and bike and just get out in your community. And maybe you even start little. You start in your neighborhood around the block, but really get outside and enjoy the wind in your face, and you'll really be able to get a better appreciation for what it's like to walk and bike in your community. And it's healthy for you, it's good for the environment, and so anyway, go out there, have fun, and have a good bike, walk, and wheel week.